A wall appears where no wall should exist. The air burns before sunrise, thick with dust and heat that clings to the throat. Blue rises out of the desert, impossible, unnatural, gleaming under a pale sky, and behind it, something vast enough to swallow hundreds of thousands of lives. Would a single day inside this city leave a person unchanged or unrecognizable? Today, a journey unfolds through the greatest city of the ancient world, rebuilt through archaeology, clay tablets, and the logic of its streets. This is Babylon at its height under Nebuchadnezzar II. Not myth, not legend, a functioning machine of stone, water, labor, and belief. A city that did not simply exist, it organized everything within it. 7 stops. From the walls at dawn to the sealed gates at night. With every movement inward, the structure tightens. With every hour, the system becomes harder to escape. 3 forces shape this life. First, control. Movement is watched, recorded, directed. Second, abundance. Water flows where there should be none. Grain fills stores in a land of dust. Third, belief. The divine is not distant. It governs every action, and beneath all of it, something quieter. A system that works too well to be questioned, a structure too vast to be resisted easily. Stop 1. The walls. Dawn. The desert stretches flat and endless, broken only by wind and heat. Sand drifts across hard ground, and the horizon remains empty until it does not. A line forms, dark at first, then sharper, then impossibly colored. Blue. The walls rise slowly into view, coated in glazed brick that catches the light and refuses to fade into the earth around it, their surface alive with color and intention in a landscape that offers neither. Animals move across their surface, bulls with lowered heads, dragons with coiled bodies, creatures that belong more to myth than to stone. The scale settles in only gradually. 2 walls. A space between them filled with water drawn from the Euphrates. A barrier not just of height, but of depth, thickness, and intent, engineered to slow, absorb, and intimidate long before any confrontation begins, turning approach itself into an experience of submission rather than entry. This is not simply defense. It is a boundary between worlds. Beyond this point, entry is allowed, but nothing inside is accidental, and ahead, the gate waits. Stop 2. The gate. Early morning. The Ishtar Gate towers upward, deep cobalt blue under growing light. Rows of animals repeat in perfect order. Lions, bulls, dragons, each one shaped, fired, glazed, and set into place with precision. More than 500 figures, each one deliberate. The surface reflects the morning. Gold tones emerge where light strikes. Shadows deepen, giving the creatures a strange sense of movement. The gate does not simply open, it frames. Everything that passes through it feels smaller, placed beneath symbols that suggest power older than memory and larger than any individual life, creating a psychological threshold where scale alone reshapes perception before a single rule is spoken. This is entry through submission, not enforced with violence, but with perception. And beyond the threshold, the city unfolds. Stop 3. The processional way. Morning. The ground changes underfoot. Stone replaces dust. Smooth slabs, white and pale pink, laid with intention, fitted tightly, reflecting light upward and brightening the narrow space between the walls. The road stretches forward, wide and direct. On both sides, lions emerge from the walls, one after another, unbroken, muscles defined, heads raised, eyes forward, a sequence that does not end. The walls rise high enough to narrow the sky. Sound carries differently here. Footsteps sharper, voices contained, movement subtly controlled by the architecture itself. Beneath each slab, hidden from sight, inscriptions press into the material itself. The name of the king embedded into the street. Authority under every step. This is not movement through a city. It is movement through a statement. And beyond the ceremonial surface, life begins to press in. Stop 4. The market. Midday. Noise builds before the space is visible. Voices overlap, rising and falling without rhythm. Animals push through narrow paths. Goats, oxen, loaded donkeys. Wood creaks. Metal strikes. Orders are shouted and answered quickly. The air thickens with scent. Dates drying in the sun. Fermented grain. Sweat. Leather, dust. Goods move constantly. Textiles from distant regions. Metals shaped and reshaped. Grain measured, poured, redistributed. Coinage was not yet standardized. Silver was weighed for transactions. A balance tilts slightly, corrected with careful adjustment, because precision here determines value, and value determines survival within a system that tracks every exchange and remembers every imbalance. Clay tablets sit nearby. Marks pressed into soft surfaces. Agreements sealed, witnessed, stored. Nothing is forgotten. Interest accumulates. Debts extend. This is a system that records and tracks transactions, and memory creates consequence. Those who gain, expand. Those who fall behind, shift position. And in this place, position is never abstract. It becomes visible in what is owned, what is owed, and what must be given up next. Stop 5. The houses. Afternoon. The streets narrow away from the main roads. Walls close in, openings disappear. Houses turn inward completely. No windows face outward, no view into neighboring lives. At the center of each home, a courtyard. Light falls directly into it. Air circulates through it. Everything gathers there. Food is prepared in open space. Barley ground into flour. Bread baked in clay ovens. Dates laid out to dry. Beer is poured thick and cloudy, drawn through reed straws to filter sediment, safer than the water that flows through the city and essential to daily survival. Inside, the rooms remain dim, used for storage, for rest, for shelter when the heat fades. Life follows a pattern. Contracts define relationships, marriage negotiated, property recorded, obligations fixed, one failed harvest, one unpaid debt, and the structure responds. Labor shifts, property changes hands. Time and labor become part of economic exchange. In some cases, family members could be used as debt collateral, absorbed into the system until balance is restored and stability returns at a cost that is rarely equal. The system absorbs loss, but it does not erase it. Stop 6. The temple. Late afternoon. The structure rises above everything else. The Etimananki dominates the skyline, tier upon tier ascending toward the sky. Its base anchors the city. Its height defines it. At its summit, space reserved for the presence of Marduk. Rituals structure the day. Incense burns. Voices chant in measured cadence. Offerings pass from hand to altar. Religious belief is integrated into daily and political life. Decisions follow signs. Birds crossing the sky. Oil spreading across water. Marks found within sacrificed animals. Patterns interpreted. Outcomes predicted. Even political authority is shaped by religious structure. During the New Year ritual, the king is stripped of status, struck, and made to kneel, his authority reaffirmed only if he aligns with forces considered greater than himself. Authority rests not only in stone or law, but in approval from something unseen. Stop 7. The walls again. Night. Light disappears quickly. The sky darkens without transition. No lamps line the streets. No steady glow fills the space. Torches move through darkness in isolated points. Shadows stretch across walls. Sound carries farther. Doors close. Voices lower. Movement becomes deliberate. Taverns flare with noise, then fall silent again. Beyond them, streets empty. Watchmen pass through certain areas, but not all. The safest place becomes enclosed space, and the gates, they shut. The same structures that opened the city at dawn now define its limits, turning the city into a contained system where everything continues inside, but nothing leaves easily. How is this known? Clay tablets, thousands upon thousands, records pressed into earth and preserved. Trade, law, marriage, debt, routine. Patterns emerge across them. Not every voice survives, but enough remains to reconstruct the system, and the system holds. What exists here does not remain isolated. Urban planning spreads. Legal systems influence distant regions. Financial structures echo forward through time. A model of control, organization, and dependence emerges. A city that mastered the environment and reshaped human life within it. Would survival here depend on strength or on adaptation? Because within these walls, everything is measured, recorded, and structured. And over time, even the structures that appear permanent shift. Water changes course, systems weaken, people leave. The walls remain for a while longer, then they fade, and what once stood above the desert returns to it.